Hello, and welcome to this edition of Headcanon. With me today, I have a special guest. I have my son, Logan. Say hello, Logan.
Hi.
And Logan, how old are you?
8.
8 years old. Okay. So the reason I have Logan today is I want to talk about collecting and the next generation of collectors. You can tell that today's collecting market, it's kind of geared more towards the adult collector. But a couple years ago, when the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie came out, Logan, like a lot of kids his age, that's probably looking back, it's probably around the same age I got kind of interested in this guy. Became a fan of Spider-Man, but not the Peter Parker Spider-Man, but the Miles Morales one that was featured in that movie. So one of the things I wanted to do is Logan wanted a Spider-Man action figure, and I'm kind of, I'm a Legends collector, and I kind of wanted him to experience that. So what I did is I kind of started him out with the one on the far left, which is the Spider-Man from Avengers Endgame. I'm sorry, not Endgame. What was the one before that?
Infinity War.
Infinity War. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Logan. I won that at auction, so it didn't cost me a whole lot, and I gave it to him, and I said, listen, buddy, take care of this figure. That way I wanted to see if he wasn't going to break it or lose it or did that, because, investing in a Legends figure, the kids can play with them. They are sturdy. But like I said, they're geared more towards the collector, the adult collector. There's no way I'm giving an 8-year-old kid a SH Fig Arts figure or a Hot Toys figure. So he did very well with the Spider-Man. You took very good care of that one, didn't you?
Yep.
And so around Christmas time, I started looking for the Miles Morales Spider-Man for him. But there was a problem. When the movie first came out, Hasbro did a line of Into the Spider-Verse figures, but they're more geared towards younger kids, little kids. But that's not what he wanted. They did do a 2-pack that I saw at Target of the Spider-Man and Ghost Spider in his full Spider-Man costume. Didn't get it because I didn't think, that's not my Spider-Man. He's not the Spider-Man I collect. I'm a Peter Parker guy. And he'd seen the movie, but hadn't really expressed the interest in really wanting to get a figure of it yet. So I passed it, saw it go off to clearance. So I know that there was a lot of guys that picked up that 2-pack for a very cheap price. So it was getting close to Christmas this year. So I, reached out to the Toy Network to see, hey, does anybody have that 2-pack, or if not, are they willing to part with, at least the Miles Morales was? And it was, I was kind of shocked that, either folks weren't wanting to give that figure up, or if they did, it was like a really extremely high price. That was one to pay for a figure that was out of a package. And even we tried to find the Miles Morales, the one in his comic book, figure, but that one had gone out several years before, and of course there was no way I was going to be able to touch that at a good price. So for Christmas, what we did is I wanted him to have his very first Marvel Legends Spider-Man in package, and so I got him the one in the middle, the Spider-Man Mark III armor from the Gamerverse line. And again, it was a thing, take care of it, do a good job, and you can see he did a very good job of it, didn't lose, didn't break it. And so after that, I tried again, maybe after the holidays, maybe so we'd give up Miles Morales one. Nobody had it. So then, of course, now we come to the one on the far right, which is the one he bought it yourself using your own money, didn't you?
Yep.
Your own allowance, you saved up and got it. It's the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales, which actually you like this one better than him in his full costume, right?
Yes.
Why do you like that version so much instead of just the full costume version?
Because he still has the jacket on, and it's just like the jacket makes him undercover, so they don't really know if it's like a costume.
Okay, and that's cool. So he's got his play value built into it. But the problem is, this is one that came out in 2021. But there was another issue when they first hit the shelves. They were gone immediately because it had been a while since the Marvel Legends figures had been on the shelves. It was the first one of the 2021. It was that Stiltman Build-A-Figure one. So it was kind of frustrating to find it that way. And then again, it was one of those things too that there were people that had it. I would see pictures of folks with multiples of this figure, wanting to charge outrageous prices just to get it. And this wasn't for my collection. This was for my son's collection. And he's not going to take the time to invest his money in to hunt down things like I probably would, especially for a figure like. But the good thing about the Spider-Man wave, in difference to the other waves, is that for retailer Spider-Man, it's a proven seller. They know it. That's why when you go into Walmart, Targets now, if there's Marvel figures, chances are there's going to be a Spider-Man. If it's DC, there's Batman. Proven seller. So I knew eventually that more of this wave wouldn't just be a one-and-done wave like some of the other waves, or there would be like a large lag time. Like I'm just now also starting to see when the Joe Fix-It wave of Marvel Avengers came out. And there was like a big long spell of them not being there because the collectors bought them all up, and now they're starting to come back on the shelves a little bit. But the Spider-Man, I knew, tends to get on the shelves and it sticks on the shelves. But even then, it was kind of hard to find. Once I started seeing it stuck on the shelves, it was kind of hard to find this figure. When I first saw this wave on the shelves, there was only the Peter B. Parker. It was like a lot of those one Prowler and a Frogman, and I grabbed a Frogman for my obscure characters. Then finally we went in the store one day, and I had Logan with me, and we found I think there was two of the Miles Morales Spider-Mans, a lot of the Peter B. Parkers, Prowler, and then I think there was another Frogman. And I'm trying to think what else away, but I mean, I have not seen a Ghost Spider at all from this wave, which kind of brings you to kind of a point that we tend to not think about the next generation of collectors that are going to be coming up into this, and so we tend to wipe it out, and we go to our toy shows and our stores, and as adults, we kind of trade these things back and forth. Or we try to look for them, and they're very hard to find for our kids. But this is your collection of Legends figures, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit. Like I said, I tell folks, listen, I'm a Spider-Man. When I was a kid, I had the Spider-Man underoos, and played with Spider-Man, read the comic books. So Peter Parker's my Spider-Man, but you're a Miles Morales Spider-Man fan.
Yes.
Why is that? Just hold it closer.
Because when I saw the movie, when he was spray painting the costume into black, I really liked the black costume a lot, and it's just like I really wanted a Marvel figure.
And even before that, you spent your allowance and bought a Miles Morales Halloween costume.
Yes.
And you were climbing the door jambs of our house around it. You went to our trunk or treat as the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yes.
Right. So now this is we can tell that this Marvel Legends figure, it's a little bit different. They went more towards the the look of the Into the Spider-Verse, which is really cool. So just a couple of things I like to point out about the figures is I like the slimmer, the youth body type that they have on it. It's very, very thin arms. They did a really good job on the details of this figure, and we may come back and do just a review of the figure. He's comes with the swappable hands and the Miles Morales head and the full spider, his full mast head. So overall I think it's a really good figure. It's good for a young collector to start on. It's not babyish, is it?
Yeah, it's not.
It kind of looks good sitting with my other figures, even though it's kind of like it got a different look. So what's some of the things you like about this figure, and what's some of the things you don't like about this figure?
My favorite part about this figure is the two different heads that you can swap between it. But the one thing that I don't like about it is that it's just so hard to get a head on.
Yeah, and I'll show you why that is. So, unlike a lot of the Marvel Legends figures, they will come with swappable heads, and what they usually has that ball joint on the neck, and then a hole in the bottom of the head. But with the this one, they did it a little bit differently. Is they put the ball joint of the head, the ball joint that's normally on the neck, into the head. And the reason why that is because to keep the slim profile, if you can see that neck, if you were to try to put a ball joint up in there, you would snap it off when trying to put the head on. You can see it really good from back there once the camera focuses in on it. So what they had to do is basically there's a hole in here, and then the ball joint goes into that hole. Now, that's good because you're not going to, doesn't feel like you're going to break anything, but it does make it a little bit harder. And for me, swapping heads is kind of a little bit hard anyway, to pop them off and then put it back on. I'm always afraid I'm going to snap that ball joint off. But this makes it a little bit harder to do that. Maybe somebody out there has a tip as how they do it. But this is great. I highly recommend this for if you want, your kids to get into it, because really this is, as much as I love it as an adult, this is toys are for kids. And as adult collectors, if we don't start remembering that, there may not be a future for the hobby, because they'll start making only certain things for kids. They'll stop innovating. New things like Miles Morales Spider-Man might not come along. So as we're going about, think about that. When think about the kids that are out there that maybe want that on the shelf. As you're looking at stuff like that, and generally as folks are looking for it and trying to find things for kids, kind of give them that consideration. So again, at some point, we would like to find the of the version, because it's the same body type of him, just in the full costume to go with that, wouldn't we? Mm-hmm. You got to say that louder because they can't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of have a contrast with it. But for now, he's happy with that. He likes it. He's got his 3 figures, and out of the 3, which is your favorite?
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, but you're not going to throw away the other ones, are you?
No.
No, because you like them both too. So that's kind of just what I want to talk about and share that with you. And Logan, thank you for doing this video with me.
Welcome.
And I hope other people's, like, if you're out there and you've got a kid and he collects with you, what are some of the things you guys collect? Do y'all do Marvel Legends, or do you think these go on Dad's shelf? The little kids can't touch it. Do the kids play with it? A lot of my toys, were well played with as a child, and I like seeing that. So what do you think about actually, trying to do things to help younger kids get into the hobby as well? So let's know that below. And so I want to say goodbye. Logan, you want to say goodbye?
Bye.
All right, you guys have thank you for watching. We'll be back with another video.